Hi everybody, it's Joni Young here. Welcome back to my channel for another acrylic painting tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to paint a misty, foggy forest, and I've done a couple of these in the past, so if you like them, be sure to check them out in my How to Paint Landscapes for Beginners here on this channel. And I've also got some in watercolor on my other YouTube channel called Joni's World of Watercolor. I'll have both links below this video in the description box, as well as my link for Patreon, where you're going to find even more there. So let's go ahead and get started by going over the supplies I'm using today. Feel free to use whatever you prefer or whatever you have on hand. I've got an 11 by 14 double primed and stretched canvas. I've got the following colors here: titanium white, luminous pink, cadmium yellow light, hooker's green hue permanent, phthalo blue, and Mars black. The brushes I'll be using today are a number 12 or number 20 flat, a number 1 round, a number 4 filbert, and a round 1-inch mop brush. I'm going to begin the painting with my 20 flat brush, and I'm going to be just starting to block in light colors for the mist and the lighting. So I'm kind of wanting this to feel like a morning sunrise. And so I'm just going to get my brush a little bit wet, and I'm going to take a little bit of yellow and pink, a little bit of white, and I'm just going to start adding a little bit of color here and there, a little bit of water in here. I'm going to leave some spaces in between for where I want to have it to be a lot lighter. And then I'm going to add a little bit more pink in here. I'll add a little bit more pink in here as well. So wherever we have just the plain canvas is where it's going to be the brightest. I'll pick up a little bit more water to work out some more of the paint here. I'm going to take some white and start to soften. I'm going to take my mop brush and just start going around and blending this. I'm going to come in down here and add a little bit more. So I've got 2 brushes on the go here. And I'll just take a little bit of yellow. And I'll soften once more with my mop brush here. Okay, I'm going to rinse out both of these brushes. Okay, so now the next thing I'm going to do is take my flat brush, and I'm going to take just a tiny bit of black, some blue, and a little bit of green. I want to add some water to that and thin it out, and also add a little bit of white. I'll take just a little bit more of the black, more white, blue, and green. A little bit more water, and I'm going to come over here and add just a little bit I'm going to take my mop brush again, brush over that. This one's wet, so I just wanted to add a little bit of moisture to it, but then I'm going to use a dry one, and we're just going to watch those lines just disappear. I brought a little bit in here as well, and then I'm going to come in here and do the same thing. So I'm just going to take a little bit more water, thin that out a bit, and I'm going to go up and down, and then I'm going to bring it in, make it narrower and narrower. So it looks like, picture like a skinny triangle. And then the next thing I'm going to do is just mist with a little bit of water. And blur that area up. I'm going to take my round brush with a little bit of water and just soften. And I'm going to take the blue, the green, a little bit of black. Get a little bit darker. And we're just going to add a few little trees back here. We're just going to come in and add a few lines. Now you can do this over dry paint or wet. And I'm just going to start to add a few little branches in here. I'll take a little bit of white in here, make some of these a little bit lighter. Now you can use a really small fan brush or filbert brush for this if you like. So they're just starting to fade away into that fog and that mist. So I'm just getting looser and more carefree with my brush strokes. And then I'm just gonna go over and blend out the bottom. Okay, rinsing that brush out. Now I'm going to come down here and I'm going to start adding the next layer. And I'm going to use a little bit more black this time with the blue and the green. A little bit of water to thin that out. And I'm just going to start a little bit more water here. And then have it kind of start to flow. So anything that's kind of flowy will work. You don't have to completely follow this. I'm going to bring another little section right in here, and then some right on the bottom. So we'll just leave it at that for now for these areas. And then I'm going to take a little bit of white, mix that in. And lightly go over. I'm going to take my mop brush, soften, and go over and soften these a little bit as well. A little bit of mist of water. This just gives us some blurry, a little bit more blurry edges. Add a little bit more on the edge here. And then I'll take just a little bit of white. A little bit more. I'm going to start adding some up here, partially over those trees. Bring that down. Okay, I'll rinse that brush out. It's getting pretty saturated. And I'm going to come in with my number 4 filbert brush now. Some green, blue, and black. And I'm going to start to add a little bit more contrast now. So I'll start with a little one up here, maybe just another little one right here. Then I'm going to start down here. I'm going to start kind of just in the middle of this, pull up a few lines for the tree trunks. And then just a little tap, 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 side to side. I'm going to bring this one up higher. So I'm going to show you a few trees with the filbert brush, and then I'm going to show you some with the little round detail brush. So I'll just do a couple more in this row here with this brush, and then we'll switch over. I've got some paint left in this brush, so I'm just going to use it to come in and add a little bit more of this color down here on the bottom. Darkest here on the bottom, and then darkest kind of in the middle here. Okay, now I'm going to take my round brush mix those colors up there. I'm gonna just go over some of the tops of these trees, make them a little taller. And then just start to pull out the branches, a little sweep, pull, little flick. So it's quite a different look. You can combine both of the techniques for one tree like I have here. A little bit more water there on my brush. And just start to make them slightly bigger towards the base. You don't have to have, for every tree, you don't have to have your branches going right down to the bottom for all of them. Like I said, just try and make them all a little bit different. I'm going to take a little bit more black, blue, and green. Make a richer, darker color. Thin it out slightly with a bit of water. And add a few smaller ones here. Then we'll start this row in this section. And a little bit more green and less black and blue for this one here. I'm going to add a little bit up there as well. I'm going to thin it out with a little bit of water light blending. Soften with my mop brush. Okay, now I'm going to come down here and go back over to the blue, black, and green. I'm going to pull out some more tree trunks, a little bit of water in here. I'm going to pick up a little bit of water and thin the paint out slightly. And we're just going to come in here and thin the paint out even more with water. And I'm just going to kind of do a very loose wiggle squiggle side to side, so it just is a little bit lighter. Do this gently though, so you're not scrubbing your brush. So you need a little bit of water in there. You need enough water and paint. I'll take a little bit of yellow and white in with that. Gonna add some in here just to give them a little bit of an extra glow. Mix a little bit more up. wanted to rinse my brush out and get it nice and clean, reload it, because when I go along some of these wet trees, I'm picking up the black blue shade that I don't want to mix with this one. Okay, I'm going to dry this off, and then I'm going to start coming in with a little bit of light pink and white for some mist and fog. I'm going to take a little bit more of my Luminous Opera Pink. So I'm going to have my flat brush to apply it with, and then I'm going to have my mop brush here that's dry that I'm going to soften with. So I'm going to take a little bit of pink, white, and I'm going to start bringing it up and through. I'm going to soften. Gonna add just a little bit more pink in here. Want it going through the trees to really get that layered look. I'm going to take just a little bit of blue with the white and the pink and add a little bit of that in here as well. A little bit there, a little bit there, just touches of it here and there. Soften. And I'm going to take my round brush again. That blue and pink, and I'm going to add some more trees back here. Just to add a few different colors, because I just think they're all really pretty together. You could add any shade of pastel for these trees. A little bit of turquoise would be pretty. Anything you want. A little bit of that phthalo blue in there. Okay, then I'm going to go into my black, green and blue again. A little bit of water on my brush. And I'm going to go over this tree and make this one stand out a little bit more. I like the color it is. I just want to add a little bit more inside of it. So just pick one or two trees to make the darkest, and then a few pastel ones as well for the lightest. Then I'm going to add just a few birds. Just a really light, muted color here. I'm just taking my darkest colors, that little bit of light purple, a little bit of white, and we'll just add a few little simple V's like that. And then I'll finish this off with a little bit of yellow and white. Just for some thicker fog. And just go around just with the belly of the brush in little circles. Okay, I'm going to sign this painting. And I think I will take my pink and blue to make a light purple shade. Now, this painting is all done. I really like all the warm, fuzzy pastel colors in it. And you might see this one here in the background. This is on paper. This is a watercolor one I did for my watercolor channel. So if you'd like to check that out, I'll have a link below. The process is a little bit different. I really enjoy both mediums, and I can't wait to show you all how you can incorporate some techniques of watercolor into your acrylics and vice versa, some acrylic techniques into your watercolor. So I'm kind of throwing a modern spin on my watercolor channel and also keeping traditional techniques in play as well. So there's lots to learn over there. I'll be using gouache as well. And I want to wish you guys all the best. Thanks so much for watching. Have fun painting your own, and I'll see you soon in another video. Bye!